I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. You gonna have to watch this anime. I know you read the title thinking, what the fuck? What anime released in 2024 that was so good? And I'm gonna put y'all on real quick. Mecha Ude, Mechanical Arms. This series is fucking gas. Like, let me tell you, I clicked on this shit thinking that it was, like, it's not gonna be that good, it's gonna suck, this and that. I stayed and watched it until it finished, and oh my god, I had one hell of a time. I'm not gonna lie to you, there are very many times where you'll be watching, you'll be like, cliche, you know what I'm saying? But, in my opinion, they're still good, you know? You can ignore them and keep watching the anime, and you'll have a genuine fun time watching the entire anime. And I think that's one big reason why I want to recommend it, because it feels like such a good time. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those animes that you'll see, you'll be like, what a funky name, I would never put this on. But when you actually do, you end up having a lot more fun than you realize. And ultimately, Mecha Ude is that kind of anime. It's like that hidden gem, that diamond in the rough. You'll see it, you'll think it's not much, and then it'll just fucking fuck you in the fucking ass, and it'll be really good. And ultimately, that's what I want to expose you to. An anime that's good and that's not well known. Because, believe me, before I say, like, this isn't well known or nobody knows about this, I always, like, check around, and this is one of those animes that has kind of been on the backdrop. So, let me give you a little summary. Basically, there are these people who can pretty much fuse with these arms, quote-unquote arms. Some of them look more armed than others, but they can practically fuse with them. And they'll have this energy that goes in between them, and it'll pretty much allow them to, use their special attacks, use their special abilities. One of the really cool things about this is that those arms that they have personalities of their own. There is not a single arm in this series that acts the exact same as the other one. You have the stern kind, you have the really kind, you have the evil kind, you know what I'm saying? The smart ones, the goofy ones, or the overall chaotic ones. That's what I really love, because it's like, to explain it to you, Venom pretty much, symbiotes. It's like everyone in this anime has a symbiote, and it's just talking to them, and they get to talk to it as well. And it responds, and they have these really funny moments, or these really heartfelt moments, and you catch yourself really caring about these arms. Like, I know they're just pretty much the power system in this series, or in this anime, but they're really good at what they do. And these arms aren't just there just to make everything look flashy, which, by the way, I will get to that. The fights are really cool. But they're not just there as weapons. They're there as plot as well. Every single arm serves the plot. And whether it's the side plot or the main plot, these arms have functionality. They're not just there because the person who made the anime just said, you know what, fuck it. Here. Here. Have some fucking weapons. No, they actually have meaning as to why they're there. And you'll see later on, in the later episodes, but these arms have a story behind them, and it's really the underlining story that's going on. It doesn't take front stage until later on in the anime, and I like that, because it helps, like, build up the tension. It helps build up this whole, I wonder, why they're doing this or they're doing that. They're trying to stop this, but in reality, why is this bad guy, why does he want to achieve this goal? And to not give much away, essentially, they want to, like, go back to their planet. Which, again, kind of brings it back to that whole Venom symbiote comparison that I made. But it's done so well. And even if a lot of people hate, and, I understand, hate, like, cliches or hate oh, I knew this was coming from a mile away. You cannot lie. When it is done correctly, no matter if it's repeated again and again and again and again, it is genuinely good. And it's enjoyable. And you'll sit there, you'll notice it, but you'll erase it. Because you'll be okay with it. And that's pretty much, you know, a lot of moments here. And I'm not gonna lie, there are very funny moments in here. Not like, obviously, laugh my fucking dick off, but like, it's a nice anime. The slice of life parts are really nice, and it can get a bit touchy, if I'm being honest. Although, again, you know, very generic. It's not like it's done wrong. It's done well to the point where you're okay with it, and it helps, you know, see that character in a different light, or understand why that character does what they do. And the biggest selling point of this series, or from me to you, is that the main character is arguably one of the most realistic main characters. And here's why. Right? When you're first meeting your main character, Hikaru, that's his name. I'm sorry if I said it weird. Hikaru, he suffers from, I say, cowardness. And this is a trend in some anime main characters, that they're very cowardly, they're not very upfront, they kind of don't want to be there. And he suffers from that. But he's a guy who wants to do nice things. He's a guy who wants to do great things. He wants to do kind things. He's accepting of other people, and he's willing to put his life on the line to help someone. And in the beginning, there's this moment where he sees a lady, and he's gonna give her his seat, but ultimately, because of how nervous he is, he ends up not doing it. And later on, he'll hear a voice, that being his side companion, his arm, Alma, and he'll go and rescue Alma. And he'll do it not knowing that he's practically putting himself in danger. He'll get attached to Alma, and eventually he'll be like, no, I'm not going to put up with this. This is bullshit. I'm going to die. I'm going to put my life on the line. But he'll still go on with it. Alma will tell him his story, and because of this reason in the anime, they can't go far away from each other for momentarily right now. And so Hikaru, even though he's scared, even though he has absolutely zero reason to help Alma and the rest of the people, he decides, you know what, I'm gonna stay with him and I'm gonna help him out in his goal. And it's also one of those animes where the main character is not born with special powers. He's not talented. He's not given a fucking, like, big boost. The only thing that makes him different is Alma. And unlike a lot of other main characters, Hikaru realizes this. And everyone does. And they will continue to bash him over this, saying that they don't really need him. They only need Alma. And he'll see himself as being useless. They'll make you see him as useless. But eventually he'll prove that he has a worth. And that there's a reason that Alma sticks to him. That he's connected to him. It's not some sort of, you're destined for this moment. It's because Hikaru is genuinely a kind and nice guy. He's a nice guy. And because he has a kind heart, he will stick to Alma no matter what, even if he's scared shitless. And eventually, everyone starts to realize that he has worth. Hikaru is not a fucking useless, bumbling dumbass. He's a dude who genuinely cares, who wants to see someone in a good position. And so he'll continue on to grow, he'll continue to train, and he'll continue to become more stronger and genuinely more confident. And eventually, at the end, a scene happens. I'm not trying to spoil much, but he sees a lady, and he decides to finally give up his seat. He grew confidence. In the end, he finally grew how he wanted to be, to the person that he wanted to become. And in a lot of animes, they don't really do that. They have these main characters that are either overpowered, they have the ones who are gifted with special powers, they have the ones that are not, gifted with powers, like, for instance, Asta from Black Clover, but they'll be given something. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though he's not gifted with magic, he was gifted anti-magic because he has no magical powers. So, but Hikaru, it's like he's a normal human and he's thrown into a situation where he has to choose. Because in reality, anyone could have been in Hikaru's spot, but they would have immediately left. And I like that. I like that they point that out. Hikaru isn't just a normal person, not on power based, not on strength based, but on heart based. He's different from everyone because of what he's willing to do. And there are some anime where the main characters are like that. And I really like those main characters because they're very realistic. One of my favorite mangas / animes has a main character like that. And I enjoy that they embrace that because that's realistic. Like, realistically speaking, some shit happens like this, you hear a fucking arm, you hear a voice calling out to you, you go look for it, and now you're put in this situation, you're gonna be scared, confused, and not know what to do. And ultimately, you're gonna want to run from this situation. But it's those who have kind hearts, those who are willing to put confidence in it, that even a coward like Hikaru decides, you know what? I'm gonna do it. And you can really relate to this character because a lot of us have this sort of problem. We have this confidence in us, we have this thing that we want to do, this dream that we want to chase, this goal we want to achieve, but we can't really do it. And Hikaru embodies that. Really, he's not socially awkward, he has friends, but he's still not the bravest. He's still not at the point that he wants to be, and eventually he does reach that point. And the other character that will be accompanying him, obviously Alma, his mechanical arm, has this sort of survivor's guilt, if you will. Alma had an original user that he was, connected to, and he died, and Alma does not remember much. But he wants to recover his memories, he wants to help people, but eventually he will reach the point where he'll remember his memories and remember that he lived, that his original owner died, and he'll suffer from survivor's guilt, and eventually he'll no longer want Hikaru to be involved with him because he does not want him to die. He does not want him to get hurt, and he has every rightful reason so. And he obviously notices that Hikaru is very vulnerable because he is a normal human. He isn't like everybody else. Everybody else is a normal human, don't get me wrong, but they're all different from him. And he doesn't want to force him in a place and in a situation that he clearly does not want to be in. But Hikaru finally tells him and finally grows courage and is okay with it. He adapts to his environment, he becomes more confident, and eventually he tells Alma, dog, we're in this together to the end of the road. You and me, we're pals, we're bros, we're bruz. And that's what happens. Alma and Hikaru have these little tension moments between them. Tension moments? What the fuck is wrong with me? They have these little moments between them where they're kind of going back and forth on, who's right and who's wrong, or they just don't want each other to get hurt because they care about each other. But in the end, it's their sync, them being in sync, that allows them to not only, one, use their powers more, but also overcome the odds. And eventually they do. They overcome impossible odds. And they end up saving the day, pretty much. And it does have a heartfelt moment at the end between these two, but yeah. The side characters, they're like a little garnish. They're like pretty sweet. Nah, what am I kidding? They're pretty good. As far as side characters go for like a 13 episode anime, they are pretty kind of fleshed out. Some of them could use more, but one of the main ones is a girl who is going to follow Hikaru all around. She's gonna, be like his bodyguard pretty much at the beginning, but eventually she becomes his friend. And she becomes close to him. And she has her own problems that she's dealing with, but one of the big things is essentially she does not want anyone to get involved with her mess. with her problem, with what's happening, and Hikaru forces himself in and pretty much tells her, yo, I'm gonna help you as your friend, not as just someone you're protecting. And it's kind of a really sweet and endearing moment between the two. There's her, and then there's Hikaru's rival, quote unquote. He starts off as a villain, but he goes into that more rival-ish place, if you will. He helps Hikaru in the end, and he's actually one of the reasons why Hikaru won. You'll have to watch, but essentially something happens, and it's because of this character that the world is saved, pretty much. He also has his own goals and his own problems that come with him. And Hikaru, again, just like the chick, he'll pretty much break down those barriers and tell these people, yo, I'm willing to help you. Because, again, that's the person who he is. And he affects everyone around him. Everyone sees him, and it's like they're affected by him. Not because he's some all-powerful guy, but because he's just a caring person. And that kind of spreads. And it spreads in a good way. So, now that I've given you, like, kind of a mini summary here and there, maybe go give it a watch. The anime is called Mecha Ude, Mechanical Arms. It's on Crunchyroll. I don't know if it's on anything else. I'm not gonna lie to you. But it has 13 episodes. The animation is great. I love those fight scenes. The art style is very unique-ish. It's unique, and I say it's unique because I like how simple yet nice it is, you know. One more thing. The soundtrack that goes with it, it's okay. You know, like, obviously there are some, like, OCT where I'm like, holy shit, this fucking bangs, and there are some that are like, oh shit, this is not. But this one, it's in the middle. You know, it serves its purpose. And yeah, the genre is action, but there's also mystery and some romance, kinda. It's made from this one blue-haired chick, but she eventually makes a love triangle between Hikaru and two other people that obviously I won't spoil for you, but it just, I mean, hey, you know, but yeah, other than that though, I highly do recommend this anime, and I hope that you found this video enjoyable and that you do go check it out, maybe sometime on your free time. As always, if you got, you know, some free time, you should, like, you know what I'm saying, follow me on Instagram. Pretty please. Put a picture up. There you go. Okay, well anyways, I'm gonna go die, I guess. I don't know how to say bye, so yeah.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!